Okay, let's begin. Let us see. Today we'll be discussing about the core concept, or I would say that the mandatory skills which is required for any project. Okay, nowadays, if you are working in a manufacturing unit or you're working in an automobile industry, people are talking about agility. They're talking about agile, right? So, what is this in software industry? What are these two terms? Why they have become very popular? Let's see, understand how they function in industry. Okay, so I'll begin with a little explanation about SDLC. What you already studied in your course, some of you might have studied this in your course, but I'll quickly repeat it, maybe with slight changes. In textbook it is different, and what happens in industry it is different. So let us see how it happens in industry first. So this full form of SDLC is Software Development Life Cycle. Software Development Life Cycle. Okay, so any product which is being launched or being produced, it has some life cycle, first phase, then second phase, and so on, until we get the product. So this is very popular. If you ask me, the standard SDLC steps, it includes, first step is requirement gathering and analysis. Second step here is design. Third step is implementation. And then we have testing and deployment and maintenance. Okay, so these are few common steps you might have studied in the course of software engineering, right? Requirement, I will explain these five different steps quickly. Then we'll talk about Agile and DevOps, which is our today's agenda. You cannot escape from this Agile and DevOps in future. It's been used very widely. Agile is already been implemented, almost maybe some 60-65% of projects are using Agile. DevOps is becoming part of it now. So along with the cloud growing and microservices growing, this is also coming into existence. So let us see this software development lifecycle in industry perspective. Requirement gathering and analysis is the first step. See, I would take an example. Assume I am the owner of a company. I have a company XYZ, right? I have almost around 100, let us assume I have 100 employees with me in my company, where I have people of different skills, people who know good at development, good at testing, and I have some support staff as well. So I have different peoples in my organization, right? So there is one call for or a notification by a company ABC. There is one organization ABC. They want to start a website for themselves. They want to have a website for their company. So they have given a notification that we are looking for people who can design a solution for our website, who can give us a solution, software solution for our company. So they wanted to have a website with lot of modules in it. Now, when ABC company promoted that they have a requirement, many companies, company A, company B, C, so on, X, everybody will try to grab the requirement because everybody is interested in getting the projects. We are company, we are having some employees, we want some work to be done. We are ready to help you all. So this ABC company will give a tender notice saying that we have this project. When they say this, they have the project, companies will approach the ABC company, say we are ready to do. Then ABC will hold meetings with every one of them, and they may finalize my company, for example. Okay, how do they finalize this? This finalization happens at higher level, but if you ask me, this is not being done nowadays because every company like ABC, they are having their own IT team. They are having their own IT team, and they are building their own website. They are building their own applications. Okay, so that's what it is happening. But assume that is the typical case where ABC gave a notification that we have a requirement to design a website, and all these companies, they thought, no, we will try to help them. So ABC company finally won the agreement. Now ABC has got that project. This ABC company has agreed that XYZ, and they both had mutual understanding that you will help me in building my application for some certain amount of contract. Now, contract agreement is done between both the companies. Once this is done, the XYZ owner of the company had attended that meeting with some, CEO, CFO. We have a lot of people in the admin level, so they might have attended it and grabbed the opportunity. What does this XYZ does now? Now the next step comes is that in this 100 employees, in this 100 employees, there are somebody with name, analyst. So we say two different kinds of analyst. One is business analyst, other is technical analyst. All these roles you will be working on in future. So we have business analyst, we have technical analyst. Business analyst are people mostly from MBA, people who do MBA, or somebody who has worked in industry for more than 10-15 years. They can become this business analyst. The important criteria for being a business analyst is you should have good communication skills, writing and reading, speaking both. So XYZ company got this project. It came now. They had a meeting. They have informed the team. So they will find out these people. This set of business analysts will go to the ABC company or ABC organization. Maybe it's a school, it's a university, or it can be anything. It's in a hospital. ABC can be anything, any organization. So this set of business analysts will go to ABC. They will have a meeting. They will try to understand what is the actual requirement. Okay, so the people in ABC will explain what is the requirement. They will say we want a website like NIT Trichy. We want some features like we have in Indigo website. We want some colors which are there in Instagram. That kind of features they will be telling to the business analyst. So the people here, the business analyst, will listen the requirement. Once they listen the requirement, they will have maybe 1 week meeting or 1 day meeting, depends on the project, or it can be some month also, depending on the size of the project. So this business analyst job is to just understand the requirement, see what the customer wants, and they will try to note down everything. They will take the photographs, they will take the notes, right? They will record the discussion, everything they will do. This business analyst, once they complete understanding the requirement from ABC, they will come back to the company. After coming to the company, they will discuss, they will have. So how many meetings happened? Meeting one happened between the company and the business analyst. Okay, the ABC and the business analyst. Then there will be meeting two between business analyst plus technical analyst. Business analyst plus technical analysts. Sometimes project managers are also included. So what is the second meeting between these two people? Now business analysts are people who are good at English and communication, and maybe in admin level they are very good at. But whereas technical analysts, they are people with good knowledge in technology. They have the overview about all the systems, enterprise systems, right? So business analysts will try to explain the requirement to technical analyst and ask the technical analyst, can we do this project? Customer is telling he wants a Facebook landing page, he wants an Instagram page or something. Maybe he wants to link it with Gmail. So is it possible? Is it feasible? Can we design it? Is it possible? Do we have the required stuff? In the sense, do we have the required staff with us who can design this application for us, right? So all that requirement discussion will happen between business analyst and technical analyst. So business analyst will try to explain everything to the technical analyst. Now they'll give time to technical analyst. You see, we have included project managers as well. Why? When the again, I will tell you why they are included in this meeting. There will be meeting 3 again. There will be meeting 3 again between same people, business analyst plus technical analyst plus some project heads. Another meeting will happen, meeting 3. In this meeting, technical analyst will give a report saying that yes, in whatever they might have given 100 points, 100 requirements in a website. In those 198 can be achieved or 95 can be achieved. 5 things are not possible between us because that are little difficult for us. We cannot do it. In the same meeting, technical analyst people will try to give a little hint to this project manager saying that for doing this project we need at least 120 people. We are only 100 in our company. We need 120 people. We are 100 in company, so you have to recruit 20 more people. And in that 20, at least in that 20 at least 10 should be on Java. Like that, they may give some requirement. So technical analyst will do detailed analysis whether is it possible to do that project or not, and which technology we have to use. Do we have to use Oracle database or Postgres database, or should we use Java, or can we use any other technology? All this information is given in that meeting. Now, if they will discuss and they will come to a conclusion, project manager will agree, yes, I will recruit 20 more people with the help of HR, and business analyst also will be satisfied with this 98, 95 requirement. Okay, meeting 3 over. Next, they will do meeting 4. Meeting 4 will happen again between the business analyst and the company ABC. Okay, so meeting 4 will happen between business analyst and the company ABC. What is that meeting about? They will say, dear company ABC, whatever requirement you gave, we can achieve 95% or 98% of it. So there happens meeting 4, we can achieve 98%, 2%. Why we are unable to do? They will show the challenges. They will tell the challenges. So maybe he will be satisfied. Then there establishes a contract agreement. They will have one contract agreement about the project. Okay, with defined SLA, service level agreement. SLA stands for service level agreement. What is this SLA agreement? It is saying that this project can be done, 98% of your requirement can be achieved, and we need this much of money. We need 2 crore funding. Total budget is 2 crore, which you can pay in maybe in 3 different phases. And we need at least 13 months to launch the product, and by completing 9 months we will be able to show you the prototype of the website. That way an agreement will be done between the company and the client, that is ABC. This is done. So when all this is happening when the requirement, that's what the first phase is all about. Requirement gathering is done by business analyst, and analysis is done by technical analyst. They do the analysis, they give the budget, they give how many number of days is required. They will, in this SLA, in this document, there will be everything. It will include how many people we need, how much money we need to pay, how much time we need to do it, and how many machines we need, how much of space is required. Everything will be written in this contract agreement. Okay, so little part of that is done here. Requirement gathering and analysis is done, and company has agreed, everything is over. This is first phase. I hope it's clear, you understood how the requirement is happening. Now, why company is coming to our college, why they are recruiting you? You see, company had 100 people, that project needed 120 people, so they are hiring 20 more people. Here is where the recruitment happens. But TCS is taking 1,000 people, 20,000 people. Infosys is taking 10,000 people, because they have hundreds of projects and hundreds of employees leave every year. So they need to full know the project vacancies. They have a lots of project which will be running for at least 50 years. So for that reason, they are recruiting people a year by year, because people are changing, people are going, they are getting new requirements. So it is not that they are hiring ahead. They have sufficient requirement. Okay, vacancies are there, they have so many projects, that's why they are recruiting. So this again a different story. It's again part of HR process, what happens outside. So this first step is done. Now the agreement is done, SLA is done, everybody is okay. Business analysts have done their job. They have given everything to technical analyst. Now this technical analyst job starts. He will do the design phase. Okay, he will do the design step. Maybe what you have learned is a little different from textbook, or somebody might have taught you the subject, which is who does not have any experience in industry. So maybe you are feeling it different. So the second step here is the design. That technical analyst fellow, he is not from one team. This fellow is not one person. This is a set of team. There may be some 10 people for a small website, if you ask me. There may be 10 people. One technical analyst is from testing team. One technical analyst is from development team. One technical analyst is from database team. One technical analyst is from, this is maybe back-end development. This is maybe front-end development. And one more technical analyst from some maybe UI UX design. Like this, we have different teams. Everybody is involved in taking the decision. Meetings happen, they take a decision. Right. So let us talk about design phase. Now, in the design phase, these technical analysts, they'll be working in different teams. If there are 10 people, there might be 10 or 8 teams. Okay, so let's take best example of developer. So the technical analyst who belongs to development team, now he will prepare two documents, HLD and LLD, high level document and low level document. High level document and low level document. So in high level document, he will include the complete requirement of the project. In low level document, he will try to include the requirement of a small module. Suppose front end has to be designed. Front end has landing page, student account page, faculty account page. Like this, we have different account pages. Maybe in that website or that university, doctor page, patient page, registration page. Like you have different modules. So this fellow, technical analyst of development team will try to divide that requirement into different modules. So he will name something as website one, website front. Let's write WF, website front 1.1, website front end 1.2. Like this, they will be dividing the requirement into small modules. Each module, so high level document will include information about all these modules, whereas there will be multiple low level documents. One low level document is about WF11, second low level document is about WF 1.2, 1.3, and so on. Now, there will be developers in the team, right? The company will have developers in the team. So, this technical analyst fellow will allocate. He can be sometimes, this TA sometimes is called as project lead, team lead also sometimes. So this technical analyst fellow will try to allocate a developer. For WF 1.1, developer 1 will be assigned. WF 1.2, developer 2 will be assigned. He will be given dates from 1/6 to 17/6. You have to complete the requirement. Maybe for this requirement, they are giving 3/6 to maybe 12/6. You have to complete the requirement. So based on the availability of the developer, his load, they will be allocating the task for them. Right? So given a low level document and also a high level document, as a developer, your job is to design the application. Okay, how will you design it? That more details are available in low level document. So if you are from computer science, you might have studied this course of OOAD, object oriented analysis and design, or sometimes it is also called as case tools lab. It is called case tools lab. So in these courses, or you might have studied about UML diagrams. I'm not sure, but this is one phase which comes in design phase. So either if you have studied any of these things, right? So the technical analyst job is to design those UML diagrams, give proper input for the developer. So this low level document contains all those use case diagram, class diagram. Class diagram, I don't think they are drawing now, but use case is one very popular diagram. Activity diagram, sequence diagram. Some diagrams exist in this course of UML. Those are drawn. Now, as a developer, when you are given a job, you have to understand that document, understand the requirement, and start designing the course application. Like your job is to design front end, start writing code, test it, and make changes every day. You keep developing it. You are given some time span. You are given 10 days, 12 days, 15 days based on the project requirement. So accordingly you try to design the application. So that happen in design phase. So in design phase, technical analyst job is to prepare two documents, high level document, low level document, and assign a developer for that particular task. Comes the third phase, implementation. In the implementation phase, as a developer, you are given a low level document and high level document as well. Now your job is to do the development. So you will have a machine with you, system with you, and you will have the what we say softwares installed in that. You have to start writing the code and keep doing unit testing always. Like your the best example of understanding this is when you are trying to design a web page using HTML, CSS. You see that color is not good, you will go and change the code. Front end is not good, you will change. Button is not proper, you will change it. That way you have to keep doing the work. So implementation part is done. Then comes testing. So as a developer, you will be doing lot of testing. You have to do sanity testing, you have to do unit testing, right? These are all different kinds of testing available in industry. They do this testing. Whatever testings you are learning in the course, all of the testing techniques exist. There is a saying or a belief or a fact, I will say, in industry. If a developer takes 1 month to develop a code, a tester takes at least 3 months to test the code. So you understand the importance of testing here. Testing is very, very, very important. That's why there are a lot of memes, jokes, and no post about developer versus testing. There are a lot of memes on both of them, because most people who fight or quarrel always in industry is a developer and versus tester, because both of them have got the high level document and low level document designed by their technical analyst. He knows the requirement, he knows the requirement. What he understood, he will design. What he understood, he will write test cases. Now, tester's job is to test the application. So he will, suppose it's a website and there is a login for student. Tester will first give valid username and valid password. Valid username, valid password. It has to be success. It has to be success. Next, valid username, invalid password he will give. It has to fail. Then invalid username and valid password, it has to fail. That way he will make different combinations and do testing. Suppose if some case is failing, then he will raise a defect. He will raise a defect. So a developer is judged. A developer gets promotions or is increments depends on the number of defects tagged on his name. Okay, so if you're working in a project as a developer, your job is to make sure that whatever products or projects you're working, whatever code you are writing, it has less number of defects. You cannot avoid defect. You cannot say I want to become a zero defect developer. That is not at all possible. So you definitely get defect, but you have to minimize them. And when you're working as a tester, your job is to make sure that no, you raise more number of defects. It means you are doing testing nicely. Okay, so those things is there in the testing part. So testing will go for 3 months. They will do rigorous testing whenever they feel that there is a problem. Now assume testing fellow has done testing for 3 months. 3 months over, he might have prepared at least 200 test cases. So he will give a report. Tester will give a report saying that out of 200 test cases which I have defined, 184 are passed, 16 failed. In the 16, why 16 failed? 4 were developer defects. 8 were misunderstandings between the customer, the technical analyst, right? The business analyst and the technical analyst did not understand the requirement properly. So some 8 misunderstandings. 3 because of system failure. Maybe during that fellow was testing that day, developer's server went down, so he could not test. Maybe that there are different ways he'll give a report like this. Now if the severity of this developer defect is more, if the severity is very high and this is also very high, that they are very major problems, then they will stop the deployment process. They will not go for deployment. They will again go back to requirement analysis. They will say this project has so many loopholes. requirement is not clear, developer has not done properly, tester has not tested properly, let us begin it from starting. It will go based on severity, but this is a very good case. I would say 16 defects are very very minimal, so they will definitely proceed for deployment. Before they go for deployment, after testing, see that who was the tester. Developer belongs to my company, tester also belongs to my company, right? So they have tested it. After the tester tests and say okay, project is fine, it can go further, then user acceptance testing will happen, UAT. User acceptance testing will happen. So UAT means from the company ABC, UAT will happen from the company ABC or some other outside third party people will come. They will test the application, they will try to do it real time testing. Customer himself might come or his company people might come, and they will try to do testing. They will see if they are giving proper username, creating account is easy or is it happening nicely, the look and feel is good or not, all those things they will keep try to do it. Okay, so testing is also passed, then they will go for deployment, they will deploy the code and it will be handed over to support team for maintenance. This is the standard one which existed. Okay, this is standard SDLC which existed earlier. Now they have come up with a new style. I hope you understood this SDLC phase, how it have used to happen in industry. This is still existing. Almost 20-25% of projects are still following this style. That's why I said no, Agile is implemented in only 60-65% of projects. There are some drawbacks and challenges. Some people don't want to implement it, some want to implement it. So we'll talk about that, why people are not using Agile yet, but it is very, very successful. That is the future. I hope you understood now what is the standard procedure of SDLC, the traditional method of designing projects. It goes through these many phases. Okay, so the maintenance team will be keep monitoring the application continuously, always 365 days. Application is working, so there will be a maintenance team working. Project is completed, the whole team might collapse, but maintenance team still works. Their job is to keep monitoring the application always, whether it is working fine. If there are some challenges in that, this if this project is dismantled, if the team is closed, project is closed, then while closing, maintenance team will be trained how to do the changes in the application. If some issue comes after 4 or 5 years, they will take care. And in the contract agreement, it will be written that the application maintenance will be taken care only for first 10 years or 20 years. That kind of discussion, it is done at business level. Okay, I hope you understood this standard SDLC procedure. Any doubt in this? Is it clear? SDLC, how it happens, is happening also. Yeah, alpha testing, beta, again testing. If you ask me, somebody is asking about testing. Let us see. Right. Once developer handles, see, the theoretical techniques what you have studied in the textbook, like alpha testing, beta testing, and then if I say you better study about performance testing, stress testing, like this load testing, you might have studied so many things. Theory, you have studied lot of theory, but in practical all this does not happen in industry. These things does not happen in industry because systems are very very nicely working. They don't need any performance testing, they don't need any stress testing. They existed, they are the standard principles defined 30-40 years back when software engineering has begun. But that is not required now. Systems are robust, they're working fine. So but one point I would like to talk about alpha beta testing is that in real time in today's industry, you definitely have this phase of UAT, user acceptance testing. This is there. So this is part of your alpha beta testing. Alpha testing, the testing happens. See, this is okay, very nice question. UAT step is divided into two parts. UAT itself is divided into two parts. One is alpha testing, other is beta testing. Alpha testing means testing happening at the developer end. Means the third party fellow will come to me. He will sit along with me, along with me in front of my system, and he will test it. So if testing happens at the user level, developer level, that is alpha testing. If that is happening at the client end, means I am going to the client, that ABC company, taking the application to him, asking him to client. So that is the only difference. Alpha beta testing is only difference. What is the location, where it is happening? Is it happening in my office or is it happening in the client's office? That's the difference between alpha beta testing. That is part of UAT testing, user acceptance testing, because user has to definitely test it. The client who gave the requirement, he has to definitely test it. Okay. Any other question? Yes, please. Any specific questions you have? Let us see Agile. Agile. I will talk about DevOps. These are both are linked to each other. Let's study about Agile. I remember, I think this has become popular somewhere around 2010, 12. It has started. Agile has become popular, but now it is used full-fledgedly. So let us understand what is this Agile project. In the same phase of SDLC. SDLC. Okay. Here, you have a team. You have a team. Project team is there of 12 people, for example. Okay. So everybody, this both are linked to each other. I will talk about these things. The popular framework in Agile is Scrum framework. Agile is a theoretical principle. It says that when you are working in a project, when you are designing an application, follow some certain principles. What are those principles? The first principle, I not specifically anything you remember for like you write for answers, but one very important principle in Agile or the Scrum framework of Agile is that whenever you are designing application, you have started working on the application. You have started working on the application. 10 days over. Once 10 days of application is completed, you will show it to the client. You will show it to the client. Again, you will work on it. Again, you will show it to the client. Again, so what is happening here? In the previous phase, if you see, after I do the development completely, after I complete testing completely, then user is coming into picture. Client or the user is coming to the picture. Whereas here in Agile, it says that you complete a small module, show it to the user, take his feedback. Okay, front end landing page is done. You have done in 10 days or 5 days. Immediately show it to the client, saying that, okay, this is my landing page. Any suggestions you have, tell me now itself. Okay, he says some changes. You will do that change. You will design second module on top of it. You have created student registration. Again, you'll go to the client. Say him that, okay, I have completed the second module. Please see. Is it okay? Should I make any changes in that? That's also fine. That way you do it. So involving the user or the client or the customer who has given us the requirement in every phase. Okay, that is one principle. Because what is in the previous case, if you see, which I explained in standard one, after developing the complete code, then we are showing it to the user. User says, no, this is wrong. I have not told you this thing. How did you design this? Because of some miscommunication between the business analyst and technical analyst and you. Maybe business analyst gave nice input. Technical analyst also gave it properly in the high level, low level document. You did not understand properly. So anybody, it's human. It's human to make mistakes. So somebody might have missed some point in the complete process. Either business analyst or client himself might have forgot to tell something, right? So that way there is a problem. And this way, the customer is satisfied. He is seeing his application is being developed in his presence. It is like your home construction. You are constructing a home, you are building a house, you go, your foundation is laid, you are observing it. Walls are being constructed, you are observing. Pillars are being founded, laid, you are observing it. Slab is done, you are observing it. If anything required, you are telling, no, this don't do it this way, please make it this way, make this way. You are there live and you are giving suggestions. You are constructing project of your own style, right? So that's the reason they have included in Agile. It is very important to have customer feedback. Customer feedback is taken in each phase of the project. Why to make mistake? Why do you design, spend 3 months of time designing the application, then show it to the client or user, he says no, this is wrong. Instead of that, it is good to involve him. It is good to involve him in all the phases. He is happy. He is saying, okay, do this way, do this way. He is giving his change. So our system is adaptable. That way, this is the major point of Agile, involving the client or the customer in each phase of the development and showing him. Okay, this is first one. Second thing, we are talking about Scrum. You are talking about Scrum, right? See, in if I talk about old case, that SDLC in older case, developer one is given the development from 1st June to 17 June. I said of 2024. This was the time given to him, developer one. Is it really working every day on that project? And what is, if he is working, what is the progress? Has he started designing? Did he complete the landing page? Did he complete the no 2 3 modules which is assigned to him? Did he work on login registration form? Has he worked on it? That nobody knows. Only after deadline 17th comes, on 18th he is giving it to tester. Okay, so to effectively make sure that the developer one is working effectively in the project, in Scrum, they have Scrum calls every day. They have Scrum calls. What is this call? Scrum calls. Every day there will be a stand-up meeting, stand-up call, they say. If you know some of your seniors or friends or cousin brothers working in industry, so you will know about stand-up call. What is the stand-up call? Okay, today is 1st June. Okay, so they may have it call on 2nd June. Developer one is there, tester one is there, developer two, developer three. Like this, there are people working in team, in our team. So he has to tell how much progress is completed. Every day morning, he has to tell yesterday how much portion of work is done, what module he has completed. So progress of the project and challenges, what challenges he is facing in the project. Yesterday he has spent some time. No, you take a example of 10 June. By the 9 days over already. So what is the progress of the project? How much work is done? What are the challenges he is facing? Is there any issue? Do I need to help you? So there is a Scrum Master who can be called as a team leader, a project lead or a team lead, who conducts this meeting. So he will ask you, is there any problem? Is there any challenges? Or maybe developer one and tester one are working on the same project, or developer one and D2 are working on same project. Are you both facing any problem? Okay, is there any issue in this project work? Okay, that kind of call is happening every day in stand-up call, right? And like when will they show? This is how it's happening in the standard call. So they're effectively monitoring a employee whether he's working or not. If he's not working, he's being caught. Okay, so that's one way. This another third point in this agile is that they will have something called user stories. That's again, the terminology is different. I told you, right? Website front end 1.1, website front end 1.2, and so on. So this is one user story. User story 1, user story 2, user story 3, user story 4. Like this, they will have multiple requirements divided into user stories. User story. Okay. Now, there is something also called as sprint. Sprint means it can be between 2 to 4 weeks of time. Okay, it is generally between 2 to 4 weeks of time. It again, this is a standard, but there is no such time. It depends on the requirement. It can be 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. It varies. So once one user story one is completed, they will have a sprint. That is one sprint. So each sprint, sprint one, Sprint 1 is from 1 June to 23 June. In this, they are planning to complete user story 1, user story 3, user story 7. These three are planned, committed. Now, after the sprint is completed, the three requirements are completed by three different people. They will go for a call with the user. Then client comes into picture. Client will come, they will have a meeting, they call it a retrospective meeting. Retrospection means analyzing what we have done, is it correct or not. So they will involve the client in that. So at the end of each sprint there will be a meeting with the client will see the full project. Okay, this is part is done, this part is done, I'm happy with this, okay, this change you make it. That way they will try to have a meeting. Based on his feedback they will move for sprint 2. Next sprint, there they will try to solve user 2 and user 6, user story 2 and user story 6. They will try to work on it. That way it goes. So what is happening here? Effectively, whatever the customer is given, whatever the customer has given, we are developing it. Customer is fully satisfied. Development is happening in his presence. He is seeing the product growing. The product is growing every day, that he is observing. And employees are also being tracked. They are not see, somebody is escaping, somebody who does not work properly, that those people are being caught. Because every day morning in the stand up call he has to tell, yesterday I have completed in user story 1, I have completed 30% of it, this much is pending. So a developer might be working on user story 1 as developer, user story 3 as a tester. He will be doing both the jobs. So he has to tell progress of this, progress of this. And if he is applying leave for 1 week or 2 days, that also has to be updated before itself in the project. Okay, that's why most of the people no didn't like this agile in the beginning, because it's kind of putting load on the employee, because he has to work definitely. He is being monitored. He has to tell the progress. You cannot cheat. You cannot say I have done this much of progress. Maybe after 1 week the scrum master asks you to show the implementation, you have to show the code. You cannot escape. That's one important point. So this way agile no is working in projects. So a lot of things exist in things. I hope you understood little idea. The major important point is including customer, taking his feedback, developing the application in his presence, or I will say in his observation. It is happening, he is giving continuous feedback, we are updating the comments whatever he is giving it, and he is satisfied 100%. Okay, and developer is working nicely because of the stand up call. He has to tell that what progress has been done by him in the previous days. DevOps is talking about development team plus operations together. Why these two are combined? I told you, no, developer d1, developer d2, d3 are working the team. In the previous case of SDLC, we had a developer, we had a tester, we had analyst, we had different people involved in the different phases. But in DevOps or Agile plus DevOps, this fellow D1 have to write the code, he has to do analysis, he has to write the code, he has to design the document, he has to test the application entirely, he has to deploy it, and he has to maintain it. Everything is done by one person. That's why DevOps. Operations and development, testing, everything is done by you only. You are responsible for everything. You have to properly test it and deploy it. It's your responsible. Now there is more burden on you. You see, in the previous case, I do development, my job is done, I do some other development. If some issue is that fellow is finding, tester is finding some issue. When he is finding some issue, I am trying to resolve it. But here it is dangerous. You are doing development, you have to test your own code, right? So you have to test it very nicely, properly, so that no defect or bugs comes after it is launched. Okay, so that's about this agile plus DevOps. So this is what is trending, this is future. You all are going to undergo the project working environment of agile and DevOps. You will be working in agile and DevOps environment as a developer. You now, that is trend. You are not, your job is not only to develop or only to test. You have to do end-to-end work. You have to write analysis, design document. Lot of things are involved in that. When you go to company, you'll have lot of project have different cases. You have to write a design document, code changes document you have to make. You have to write a code document, like what changes you have, what you have designed in the application, which technology you have used. That way, process documents you have to explain. What was the project requirement? So lot of things are involved. You have to do it by yourself. There is lot of work on your head. You have to complete it and go. That's why many people didn't like this agile. There is a lot of negativity, but it is good for companies. I am running a company. I want to get the project completed as soon as possible. I can include agile plus DevOps. I can put pressure on my developer. No, I will not say it's a pressure. It's a part of project. You are. I am hiring you. I am giving salary to you. You have to work for me. That's it. That's the agenda behind this agile and DevOps. Okay. So in DevOps, since it DevOps include lot of automation. Like you will not do any manual testing, you will not do any manual deployment, you will not do any manual monitoring. There are a lot of tools in this. There are a lot of tools available for deploying, for testing, for writing code, for monitoring, right? Everything is being automated. So it includes some set of tools. So if you learn those tools, you can become a DevOps engineer. That's what we are talking about, right? So this is the difference between the older version and the new version, which is going to happen in industry. Any doubts till now, please ask me. Any doubts in this agile or DevOps? Please ping in the chat box if you have any questions. Any questions in specific about agile, DevOps? Please ask me. Yes. Any questions you have in this SDLC, Agile, or DevOps? Agile and DevOps are stressful jobs. Something which is new is difficult to adapt, but now people are adopting it. They cannot escape. Company says, project says, you are in Agile, you have to be. You want money, you want to work, you want to work in an IT company, you have to go. I don't say it's stress. Initially, it was stress, but now people are habituating it. It has become habit. Only thing, no, you will have continuous calls every day. Now some companies are including call in the morning and also in the evening. Stand up call in the morning and evening. Morning to know what you have done yesterday. Okay, suppose this is just I know some people working in all my friends are in different industries. So let's assume day two is the first call. At 9 a.m. we had a stand up call. Okay, we had a stand up call. So in this stand up call at 9 a.m., you have to tell day one what you have done, progress, what challenges you faced. In the 9 a.m., you have to tell that. And you also have to commit. Today, you will say, for example, 30% is completed on day one. You have to give a commitment. How are you going to resolve these challenges? Challenges one exists, two exist. There are two challenges. I have to talk to somebody in the client, and that is one challenge. Second one, some issue with the system performance. Maybe your system is not working properly. Two challenges you have expressed. Then you also have to commit that today I will solve these two issues and make the progress to 45%. Then again in the evening 5 p.m. he will conduct a stand-up call. Okay, tell. You said that what about these challenges? Are they solved? Are they resolved or not? Or how much percentage of progress have you done? Is it completed or not? That they will question you. So kind of a not pressure, it is pleasure, I say. Uh, Everybody is doing it. I cannot tell it. Yes, it's kind of a stress. But if you are working, doing your job nicely, why it's stress? You resolve these two things without spending time on Instagram or WhatsApp. If you work on your project, this can be done. Like you done one day 30%, second day 45 is easy, right? So kind of stress because you are forced to work fully the 5 hours or 8 hours a day. You have to work continuously. That way. Good question. Any other questions you have about this Agile DevOps? But you cannot escape. That is what's happening. 65% are using it. Slowly it will become 100%. So everybody will use this Agile. So you have to work in an Agile project. Any other questions? If no questions, we'll try to stop here. We'll meet again in tomorrow's session. So, yes, right. So, thank you all. Happy learning. Let's meet again in tomorrow's session with some new interesting concept. Right. Thank you all.